This is a MOTOVLOG. I'm Jeff.
I'm Alex.
And today we're here to talk about seats. Got a few of them apparently.
We got more.
Yeah, we really do. Your other stock seats over there somewhere. So, today's video is all about seats. And first things first, it's all about passengers' comfort. And driver's comfort, I guess, too. So, kind of where I want to start with this is what seats we have here. So the seat next to Alex is going to be seat number 1. That is a stock Road Glide or Ultra Classic seat from a 2011 touring bike. That's what came on my bike. The second seat in is the stock seat off a 09 and up bagger Harley touring bike, Street Glide, Road King. The next seat is for Alex's bike, which is an 06 Road Glide. It's the Mustang wide touring seat. And then this guy right here is the Mustang low wide touring seat with built-in driver's backrest. Now, you will notice that Alex has a backrest on his, and we're going to get to that. It mounts differently. So first things first, if you guys are thinking about upgrading your seat, I highly recommend it. Something I found personally from talking to people, passengers, females, well, usually 9 out of 10 times it's a female, is comfort. Before I go anymore, I want to give a quick shout out to the Ornery One, the Ornery Squaw, TJ and Steph Thompson. They actually just started a new channel called Ride 2 Up, riding, something along those lines. I think it's Ride 2 Up. And it's all about riding 2 up. So they give tips, tricks. They've pretty much ride coast to coast. I don't really think they've hit the West Coast much yet, but they live in Arkansas and they're actually coming up this way
Next week?
6 days.
Yeah.
In 6 days, they will be here. I don't know if they'll actually be at this physical location. They will be in the same state as me and Alex, which is Massachusetts, and they're making their way to Laconia. So, kind of here's where we're at. A lot of times with the stock seat, I've heard from people, especially with the stock Harley seat, that the rear of it tapers back. And as great as it looks good, at the end of the day, my personal opinion isn't the only one that matters. You make your own choice and own opinion and your own decision on what you want to do. I want my passenger to be comfortable. As you just send the pit vipers right to the ground. Oh, you just scratched them.
They're pit vipers.
So, one big thing is you can see the huge difference in the stock seat versus the Ultra Classic seat. Now, the Ultra Classic seat is, I believe, 14 inches wide for the passenger, and the stock seat is like 11. The two big touring seats over here are 14 inches as well. So, first things first, passenger comfort. I do want to dabble on this for a minute. We've, as of late, have seen a huge push in this performance bagger movement. They're doing the races of them. Lucky Dave's, Salomon, Mustang has a similar style seat. They're all making these performance style seats that we used to see on just Dyna models, now we're seeing on baggers. Personally, I'm a fan of Lucky Dave's, and Lucky Dave, or Dave, makes no qualms about it. Salomon makes his seat, but to his specifications, how he wants his seat pan. He also does rider gel front and rear, which is something we're actually going to talk about in this video. They're phenomenal seats. I would love to have one. However, I chose to go this route for a seat because I have an Ultra and I want comfort. Now, a lot of these guys that are doing performance baggers are trying to run distance, and I'm not saying that they can't, but if they're doing it 2 up, they're going with the Salomon Road Sofa. Stupid thing too is if you ever see LS on a Salomon Road Sofa, that means lattice stitch. It has that diamond-y kind of stitch on it. So, back to what we have in front of us. So, you have 2 Mustang touring seats and 2 stock Harley seats. Now, 3 of these seats came on or off my bike, and one of them is for Alex's. So, the reason we have Alex's bike here, or seat, is because it's actually cut different than mine. When I went to order my seat in February, talking to Mustang, told them what I had for a bike, which is a 2011 Road Glide Ultra with 12-inch apes, and Legend suspension, I was saying that I wanted the Mustang Touring Deluxe seat. They don't make it in a low version for some unknown reason, and he couldn't give me.
Dabbled with that,
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's not a huge seller, but I think it is a big seller. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, they don't produce that seat at the current moment. Now, there's a huge other big thing with this. Kind of between the two Harley seats, you can see another backrest. So there's twofold reason for that backrest. That is actually the stock Harley backrest that came off my bike. And there's another reason I have it out here is because of the mounting system. So, first thing I want to get to is a lot of people complain about the stock Street Glide seat because of back tapers, and the passengers complain that they feel like they're falling off if you don't have a backrest or a tour pack. The seat does taper back. Don't get me wrong, it looks killer on the bike. I think from an aesthetic standpoint, it's great. A friend of ours, Kevin, had a 14 Street Glide, and the guy that sold him the bike actually put the Ultra Classic seat on it for him and his wife. I think Kevin had a backrest, right?
He ended up putting one on, yes.
Did it come with it though?
No, I don't think so.
I forget.
Either way, he had
Anyway, he had one for the passenger. So that's actually something I do want to dabble on a little bit as well when we get into Mustang. So you've got your two stock seats. From a looks perspective, yeah, the Ultra Classic seat, listen, it's ugly as sin. I would be lying if I said it wasn't.
But it was built for the comfort.
Right. So the big thing with that seat is it has a 14-inch rear passenger pillion compared to, I believe it's an 11-inch or so for the stock Street Glide, Road King. I think Road King comes with that too. Stock regular bagger seat. A non-ultra, that's what we'll refer to it as. So kind of the big thing to note here is, personally what I've found over the years, you will see a lot of seat manufacturers, and I'm not going to throw names out there, they will make a super pillow toppy, puffy seat, which was a huge thing in the 90s. Personally what I've found, and after talking to Mustang, talking to Salomon, talking to Lucky Dave's, the reason they don't do that is because it's initial comfort. You can ride about half hour, 45 minutes, and then your butt, your sciatic, your back, everything starts to hurt.
Just goes numb, really.
Yeah. For me personally, it's my sciatic that'll go, and that's just, it makes it miserable. So the next kind of part of this is with the seats, comfort. So Mustang can do a hell of a lot better job than I can. But what they end up doing is, the difference between his seat and mine is the density of the foam. It's the same foam, it's shot into the seat pan differently. This is a huge factor.
Well, the seat pan itself too.
Yes, the seat pan's a little
more of a
different.
point, yours is less.
So, can you hold up that seat first? Yeah, that thing. So if you can see on the bottom, there's kind of a, he's got to put his coffee cup down, always. Yeah, that's Harley's stupid mounting method. It looks super easy when it's off the bike. When you go to do that, it is the biggest pain in the ass in the world, and I will vouch for that.
Because you're fighting, going in this and trying to find this.
Yeah. So the other big thing with that whole setup is it's a pain in the ass. Now that bottom mounting bracket is pretty much the same one. Mustang's is a little different, same idea. With my seat, because I have the low, it's built into the seat pan. Now, when you go to order your seat, don't quote me, it's like $650 for without driver's backrest and $785 with it. If you wait to buy the backrest, it's literally like an extra $200.
Well, you also got the tour pack.
I did.
The
Get to
tour
that
pack.
in a minute. So, with the seats, mine is cut a little different because it's a low model, and I also have the in my seat pan, it's designed to, they pretty much, it's all one seat pan they use for the low model. They just either give you a backrest or they don't. Now, riding with a backrest for the driver. I'm gonna dabble on this for a second. is great, but it's a pain in the ass. And the reason I say it's a pain in the ass is both of us haven't really, we've run them. To get it adjusted perfectly is just a pain. It really is.
A lot of stopping and starting again.
Yeah, trying to figure out what's good, what's not. I had it on for a ride with my girlfriend, and I went to put, I've been riding for years. I felt like I couldn't get my feet under me. Turns out I kind of had the backrest pushed a little too far forward. It's just a trial and error thing, but once you get dialed in, I'm going to tell you, I never believed it when I was even younger, that you'll never ride without it again. You literally, I leave it in my tour pack. So the other big thing that I do want to touch base on with the Y Touring seat, doesn't matter if you have the low version or the regular version, the back seat is the same for all passengers on this particular model. So if you have the low like me or you have the regular like Alex, it is all going to be same for the passenger, which is super important. Now, the other big thing I will note is they are not the prettiest looking seats. They're kind of ugly. I had a supervisor that used to tell me, ugly doesn't mean it's broken. Still works just fine. It's ugly. Who cares?
Which they have proven they work.
Yep. So, point kind of behind this with the backrest for the driver and for the passenger is, yeah, it might not look the best, but there's a reason why I'm 30, you're 26,
27, almost 28.
Okay, 2 years between us. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why it's not. We could go run sportier seats. There's no doubt. We could have bought Lucky Days. We could have bought Salomon.
I mean, my stock seat was a little bit more sporty than this.
Yeah. I mean, as you guys can tell in the video, that those other two seats, well, one of those two seats, I don't have to pretty much point out, is sportier looking. And trust me, you ride down the main strip at night, you can see, you know, we've all seen the 26-inch front wheel bagger with the nice seat and this and this. I'm not saying those bikes aren't comfortable. There's guys, Big Wheel Cody B, Jace from Fast Life Garage, they rode cross country on those things.
They're built for comfort.
Right.
Even though they look like they're not.
Right. So the other big thing is with the seat. I cannot stress enough how big comfort is. You know, you start doing 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000 miles a day. You know, everybody's heard of the Iron Butt Challenge. You haven't, it's 1,000 miles in 24 hours. I would say a seat's probably more important than suspension. Because the seat acts as suspension. I'd say a good helmet too. Definitely a good helmet for that. So kind of initial reviews. Done about a little over 1,000 miles with the seat so far. Alex has done about the same. Girlfriend's definitely happy. Now, you dabbled on this. I have the matching tour pack.
Fat line.
Crotch rack just went by. I have the matching tour pack backrest. Now, it is from Mustang, so I bought it all at the same time. It was about $1,100 for the seat, the backrest, everything in my setup. And Mustang, talking to them, it's the same material that goes, the same foam that's in their seat goes into the backrest. Now, we talked a little bit about riding Tua. I personally like sharing the experience with someone else. And with having good products and something that's comfortable, it makes the day easier. So we actually just shot a video, kind of like a little bit of where we've been, what's going on, why we haven't been around. We made, and I'm not, and you're not, Billy Badass, the biker that rides, 1,000 miles, this and that. I'm not.
We would, but we're not.
Right. I'm just some dude on YouTube at this point. I love to say that I'm a kid on YouTube, but we're not kids anymore.
We're in that weird in between.
Yeah.
We're not young, but we're not old either.
We have old man bikes.
I mean, we got the Grandpa Glide and the Gangster Glide, so.
get the grandpa bike until it has T-bars, and that's gonna be iced tea or something.
Yeah.
Point is, comfort is a big deal. I'm not saying that I go ride 1,000 miles a day. I don't. But I can tell you, coming back in the rain for about an hour and a half, in a good rain, like I said, in the previous video,
It's just about 100 miles.
yeah, we didn't get super soaked, but we were wet enough. It happens. My butt felt locked into the seat. My passenger, my girlfriend, after we got back here, told me that she was screaming in her head the whole time because she was so nervous and horrified, which is par for the course for her. But I said, how'd your butt feel? How comfortable are you? She goes, I did exactly what you said. I leaned back, I took a breath, I tried to relax. I didn't shut my eyes. I was like, well, that's good. You shouldn't shut your eyes. But I just tried to relax, and I gotta tell you how comfortable that seat was. Now, Mustang doesn't, I think they do make passenger backrests, like the smaller ones. But if you're running a tour pack, they have different models. It's the same foam. So I can't explain it. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. If you go to the Owner One's channel and watch some of his live videos, they talk about it. They're actually sponsored by Mustang. I've run Mustang seats in the past. I like them. They're actually going to, I think they totally said it in the live video, they're going to be at the Mustang factory in 6 days from now. Today's June 10th. I think they're doing a factory walkthrough. I know actually that even general run-of-the-mill people, you don't have to be a YouTube star. They're in Three Rivers, Mass. If you're local to the area or you're visiting and you want to do something cool motorcycle related, you totally can go shoot over there and go do a factory tour and check it out and see what they're about.
Obviously, you just gotta follow
The
stupid
state,
guidelines,
yeah.
right?
which we're
I
blows
don't-
my mind.
I don't follow any of them, but
Yeah, I identify as vaccinated, or Jehovah's Witness. I don't know. I just identify.
I identify as mind your business.
That's, you know what? I'm going with that from now on. I identify as a Sasquatch.
None yet.
So the other big thing too that I do want to touch base with these seats is seats, in my opinion, is like suspension. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. You can go buy, and I'm not knocking or talking shit about drag specialties or progressive. You can go buy $1,000 progressive shock. You can also go spend $1,000 on Revo A's or $1,500 on the Revo Arc from Legends, or I think they're 944s from Olin's. I forget. Don't quote me. You can go buy the Olin stuff. It's all about what you want. If you're loyal to a certain brand, if you're whatever. I personally run Legends. You're supposedly, hopefully, getting Legends at some point.
I'm on the fence, yes.
It's about what you make of it. That's all I'm gonna say. You can buy a good looking seat that looks great and you ride 45 minutes or an hour and your back hurts and your wife's upset with you or your girlfriend, whatever. Or you buy an ugly seat, but you're comfortable. And to be honest, I'd rather have an ugly seat and be comfortable and ride all day and have enjoyment. And when I get back to the shop, whether I come here on the bike or if I go back to where I'm living, I take the bike with me, get off the bike with a smile on my face, and I did, 600, 700, 800 miles that day. That's a long
You're
day.
gonna be sore, but you're not gonna be as sore as you would have been.
Right. The other thing too I do want to mention is Mustang has great customer service, and I'm not just sucking up to them. I have a Mustang seat. I've had another one before this. You can call and talk to them, and they will.
Have a full-on conversation with you. They're normal people just like us.
Yeah. And I will say I am really glad I was able to talk to them and find out that the seat that I wanted wasn't going to work for me, because there's nothing worse in the Harley world, and we dabbled on it in the other video, is spending your hard-earned money. I don't care if you're a business professional, a union employee, a school teacher, whatever craft you're in, you're working and you spend your hard-earned money and you buy, you know, let's say I bought Alex's seat with the stitching I liked.
You technically did buy it. I just
Well, I went and picked it up. I picked it up and you Venmo'd me, which, by the way, we gotta talk about that.
Oh boy.
The shop rent. Why the hell am I coming with cash every month? Why can't I just Venmo you?
You haven't brought it up.
Yeah, it hit me the other day.
It's a reason to come and stare at your bike. I don't know. Shit.
That's true. But give them a call. Any questions, concerns you have, call them, talk to them. If you want to tell them that, you know, some guy on YouTube named MOTOVLOG sent you and he's friends with the ornery one, do that too. I don't know what to tell you. But I can tell you.
I mean, they wouldn't treat you differently anyway.
No.
They treat you as, okay, you're coming to us. We're pandering to you.
Yep. And the other thing I will say is, if you're on the fence about buying the driver's backrest, we didn't know it was going to come with his seat. I knew, obviously, because what I had ordered. Personally, I think it's worth its weight in gold. I've said that before. The big other thing I will say with the backrest is, if you're on the fence about ordering it, order it. Try it out. You can put it on Facebook or Craigslist, unless you have the low model, because then it's built into the seat pan. Try it. It's a $200 option or whatever it is. I'm telling you personally, last year I was coming back from actually the same trip we did, and I happened to throw it. I had the stock Street Glide seat and I put that backrest on. There was a pretty big gap, but I will tell you, being able to lean back and just take a little bit of that pressure off your back, wow.
That could make or break the ride.
Yeah. Actually, I got a question for you. So you had the stock seat, now you have the Mustang seat. How do you feel about it?
Oh, it made a world of difference. I went from I have a hip injury from an accident I'm not going to get into, but it acts up on the bike a lot.
You fell in the tub, probably.
Mm.
Thought Shamu fell into the ocean. Boom.
Yeah. So going from having to stretch my leg out constantly to having the Mustang seat now, I don't have to do it so often. And especially with the backrest, I can relax my hip, but I can lean back a little bit more. Comfy.
Actually, I did notice that, because when we left Woods Hole and went up and we stopped and grabbed gas, and then totally were like, hey, let's go to P-Town after. I asked how your hip was doing, and you're like, dude, it feels great. Like, it doesn't feel like we've ridden this far.
Difference.
And then when we got back, I think you said it was a little sore.
Well, because the temperature change and the rain and everything, it acts up in the rain. I'm like an old man. But
dude, my body acts up in the rain. I'm like, oh.
So, still considering that, world of difference compared to my stock seat.
So if you're on the
Well
fence,
worth the money.
and the other thing too, not trying to take any business away from Mustang. I know you can try to find them on Facebook or Craigslist. I mean, that's how we found his seat. But the big thing I can tell you is there are certified Mustang dealers. They will have a demo seat for you. I was lucky enough, 508 actually had a Mustang demo when they were in Brockton, and they didn't have one for my Dyna. The guy made me a deal. He goes, you buy the seat, I'm going to charge your credit card, you have 30 days, and if you don't like it, go for a ride this weekend or whatever your plan is, go for a long ride. If you don't like it, bring it back, I'll give you your money back. But I know Boston Harley, I think Boston Harley definitely has Saddlemen. I think they do Mustang too, I forget. Anyway, go to a local Harley shop or an independent shop. They will have demo seats. They might not have your exact one, but go take it for a ride. And I'm telling you, I said, seat's about as good as suspension in my book. You know, if I was going to do a long trip, I would probably suck it up with stock bars and the shitty stock suspension if I had to. Unless you said, hey, here's a full set of Legend suspension, which would be like 1,600, 1,800.
That's without having them
Done.
installed.
Yeah. If you said bars or seat, I'd probably pick a seat 10 out of 10 times. You know, stock bars, you can get used to your hands being low, but your back, your ass, your sciatic, everything.
Well, same me. I have bars, obviously, but I have stock suspension.
Yep.
So, I get the air suspension, obviously, but
Get Legends ready.
whatever. But seat still made a whole difference, because now I can confidently say, yeah, let's go ride.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, we gotta stop every hour or so.
Right. Which, I mean, if we were doing a long trip, you know, you should stop, try to stay fresh, especially being on the road. And I know when we came back, I was talking to my girlfriend on the ride home. How's your back? How's your ass? You know, how do you feel? How comfortable you should ride? It feels like we didn't even ride. And I know your sister had said pretty much the same thing. And that's a great feeling as a rider and, you know, boyfriend or whatever. It means you can still get lucky that night. I know when I had the bare bone seat, the person I was dating at the time stopped in the middle of a ride that we were doing with a couple of my buddies, and this was years and years and years ago. My buddy had an old police electric glide. I'll never forget it. It was the funniest thing ever. Things may have happened the night before, and she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I cannot ride this anymore. Can you swap bikes with them? So I asked my buddy, can we swap bikes? He goes, no, she can suck it up. I said, well, bud, I was very close with him at this point in time. He has since moved away. We still try to stay in touch. I asked him, hey, can she hop on with you? I trust you. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And she ended up riding on the back of his bike with him because she had a lot of back pain anyway, and being on a Sportster didn't help. So she was able to get onto that, and he had the pillow toppy kind of ultra classic seat, but it was much more comfortable. So I guess kind of a 1,000-mile review, and I mean, I did thousands of miles on my other one. Actually, when I went to New Hampshire, when I was on the fence about selling the Dyna, I had the Lucky Dave seat and I had the Mustang. I threw the Mustang on, and that's not a knock on Lucky Dave's. I knew I could ride distance, and I didn't want to be in a shit ton of pain. So I took an ugly old man seat and I threw it on my Dyna, which was a club style Dyna, and I rode it up. So, like I said, kind of babbled there a little bit, but any questions, call Mustang, talk to them. They will walk you through it. They have extended reach, reduced reach, regular, different configurations. They're doing a new thing now with stitching. They can stitch it different colors. Personally, I like black on black on black. I'm a traditionalist. I don't like the studs on my seat. You can order it with chrome studs, black studs.
Literally, you ask them, they'll do.
Yeah. And I believe too, they just started this, they're doing a custom seat program where you can take, like he just said, any seat, and you can walk through, and I want this stitching here, this here. I know TJ and Steph actually have an ornery one stitched into the seat. They might do that for you too. I don't know. Give them a call. So, until the next time, keep the rubber down, shiny up, and I know for me, and pretty sure I can speak on your behalf, we really hope that this video helped. You know, he's got a hip injury, I've got a couple back injuries, a neck injury, and I will say that the seat sets the tone for the ride. So, any questions, feel free, drop them down below. Do us a favor, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and till next time, see ya.